Hello class, in this video we'll create this gunshot effect. Alright, so let's get started. And first we're going to drop in all of our footages into our project. And we're going to drop in the background footage to create a conversation. So as you can see, for the original footage, there's no muzzle fire or smoke or any visual effects coming out from the gun when she shoot. So at where she shoot, we're going to drop in our muzzle fire visual effects, and we're going to drop in a key light 1.2 to get rid of green color background. And as you can see, the footage is kind of flipped, so we'll go to transform and flip horizontal to flip it back to the correct orientation, and then use the anchor point tool to move its anchor point and position it. And we'll make it smaller to have the correct size. And then about 2 frames later, when the first fire disappeared, we're going to drop in our second one and repeat the process to correctly place it. And we're going to repeat this process to drop in 4 muzzle fires. Okay, so basically our character is going to shoot 4 times. Alright, and this is how it looks. And then we'll duplicate the background footage. So for Mac computer, you can just use Command D, or for Windows, just use Control D to make a duplication. And we're going to drop this duplicated layer on top and name it to glow. And we're going to drop in a tint effect to it to make it black and white. And then we're going to search for curve. And for the curve, we're going to increase its contrast by boost up the bright color and drop down the dark color. So now we can only see the bright area of the footage. And then drop in a tint effect again, and we're going to map its white color to a orangish or yellow color. So this will be the glow. And we'll right click on this footage and go to blending mode and check on screen. So now it will be served as the highlight area. And then we'll drop in a glow effect onto it and play with the settings to boost up the glow. And here we're going to create 2 keyframes. So before she actually shoot, we're going to change the opacity to 0. And then right after she shoot, we're going to put the opacity back to 100. So this is how it looks. So basically we just create the flashing effect, the lighting effect for the fire. Okay, and at the end, drop it back to 0. And can also create some variations, so we can let it start from 60% and then go to 100. And then go to 60% and then go back to 100 at the end. And then we're going to create an adjustment layer and place it on the top. And we're going to drop in a curve effect. So for this adjustment layer, we're going to create a keyframe before she shoot, and at she shoot, we're going to create a second keyframe, and we're going to boost up the RGB channel and then boost up the red channel separately. By doing this, basically we kind of increase the lighting for the whole footage, and as our character shoot, we want the whole environment to be lightened. And then we can create some variation as well. So at a different point, basically we create a different lighting. And then we're going to drop it down to 0. So this is how it looks. So it looks like the whole environment also kind of enlightened and flashing. And then we're going to create a new solid layer. And for the solid layer, we're going to just use the black color, the default color. And for this layer, we're going to name it Boolean Shell Generator 1. So basically, we're going to use this layer to generate a boolean. So we're going to drop in a particle effect. And this is how it looks by default. Since we haven't applied anything to it, it just shows the particle. And then we're going to create a conversation for the Boolean shell, the first clip. And we're going to get rid of the green color background. And then drop in this Boolean shell conversation into our background comp. And we will not use the video directly into the comp, so we can hide it. And select the Boolean shell generator and go to its effect, and we're going to go to its particle. And for the particle type, choose texture square, and texture layer, choose the conversation we just dropped in. And we can change the size of the particle, which is a boolean, and we can preview how it looks. Okay, right now it generates a lot. Okay, and also the size are a little bit too big, so we can make it smaller. And also, as you can see, the size it ranges from small size to big size, so we can just change the size variation back to 0, and also the opacity to 100. And you can see that still some booleans is still half transparent, so we can go to opacity map and map everything to 100 solid. And then for the color variation, we're going to change both the birth color and death color to white color. So we're going to keep its original color when the Boolean shell is generated. And then for birth rate, we can lower it down to 0.06. So you're going to just generate a few of them. Okay, and then we're going to go to the part where she's going to shoot, and we want it to generate at here. So we're going to create a keyframe before she shoot and set the birth rate as 0. As she shoot, we're going to set birth rate to 0.06. And it doesn't generate any Boolean shell is because the texture time we set for current, so it's play the current video time. So now we'll just change it to from start. So you're going to start from where we set the birth rate at a number. And we're going to go to the physics, and we're going to change the direction to cone axis. And then we can change the direction axis from which axis the Boolean shell will come out. And then we can change the generation point. We can create 3 keyframes on X, Y, Z, and on this keyframe place it onto the bottom of the gun, and then go to different keyframes and just move this generation point, and as you can see, it's going to automatically create a keyframe for the producer. And for radius X, Y, Z, just set it at 0, so you're going to generate from the center point. Now we're going to drop in a curve effect. So basically for this curve effect, we're going to make the Boolean shell also have some lighting as she shoots. And then we're going to drop a glow effect and do the same thing. Alright, so this is how it looks so far. So as you shoot, both the environment and the bullet will be lightened. So now we'll make some variations. And we'll duplicate the generator layer. And we're going to drop in our second bonus shell clip. And for the second generator, we're going to go to its effect. And first we're going to move its birth rate keyframes to a different spot. And then we're going to go to its texture and set the second clip as the bonus particles. So you're going to generate the second footage. So now you can see that we're going to have different footage, however they overlapped together. So you're going to go to its direction axis and just change its axis to determine a different spot to generate a footage. And for the birth rate, we can also lower down the value from 0.06 to 0.03. So now both of them generate fewer bonus shells, and they generate different bonus shells. And we can repeat this process, and we're going to drop in our third bonus shell. So make sure you change the texture of the third generator to the third clip, and also put the keyframes to a different spot. And then we're going to change its direction axis. And this is how it looks.